Please welcome the President and Vice Chair of the Xprize Foundation, Robert K. Weiss.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize Awards ceremony. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to all of you watching us online. Thank you for joining us. Our backdrop this morning is the Historical Society of Washington, D.C. And while this backdrop is all about celebrating history, our awards ceremony today is all about celebrating the future. We're here to celebrate the forward-thinking, super fuel-efficient technologies that have resulted from this competition and that are sure to shape the future of the automotive industry. Today, $10 million will be awarded to 3 teams that prove their entry vehicle could meet the competition's strictest requirements, including the ability to achieve 100 miles per gallon energy equivalent, or MPGE, and to survive grueling real-world safety, efficiency, emissions, durability, and range tests. In this morning's program, you'll learn more about all of the amazing innovators who have worked for over 2 years to accelerate the future of the automotive industry. Now, to kick us off, it's my pleasure to introduce the Chairman and CEO of the Xprize Foundation, Dr. Peter Diamandis.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I would like to say a special thanks to my partner, Bob Weiss, for his strength and vision in helping take this organization forward. A welcome to all of you, the Xprize trustees, to our teams, and to the public who are here to celebrate with us. Today, we're living in a day and time where literally anything is possible, where a man or woman who is passionate and driven can go out and build a spaceship, or a 100-mile-per-gallon equivalent car, or reinvent how we educate or how we feed the hungry. Today, at our fingertips, at all of our fingertips, we have more computing power, better communications, more access to information than even the President of the United States did just 25 years ago. And this is just the beginning. In the next few decades, engineers and scientists will have biotech, AI, robotics, quantum and molecular computing. All of these exponential technologies are going to be giving visionaries and doers more power than corporations and governments had. So the question is to those entrepreneurs and doers and those dreamers, what are you going to do with that power? And that's where the Xprize comes in, to give you a challenge to focus on. It's our mission to inspire and educate and drive radical breakthroughs for the benefit of humanity, to help you solve the world's grand challenges. In places where there are market failures, where capitalism hasn't yet done its job, we create clear, measurable, objective goals, and then let human nature for competition do the rest. If we do our job correctly in designing and launching and running an incentive competition, we will achieve extraordinary results, tremendous leverage and efficiency. A $10 million prize drives $100 million in team expenditures, and if we've done our job right, gives birth to a multi-billion-dollar industry. This was the case in the Ansari Xprize. $2 million of seed capital put forward by the St. Louis community allowed us to find the Ansari family, and Anusha Ansari is here with us today, Anusha, that put forward the $10 million that drove $100 million in team expenditures from 26 countries and has driven the creation of a billion-dollar industry for personal spaceflight. After the Ansari family and the Ansari Xprize was won in October 2004, we quickly pinpointed what we wanted to do next. Like aerospace, automotive was another 100-year-old industry in need of radical change. Today, we celebrate not just our teams, but automotive innovation. Our team's vision to accelerate the future. All of our teams here today, and all the teams that made it to the Michigan International Speedway, are heroes for taking on this challenge. Here at the Xprize, it wasn't only about the $10 million that you followed this. It's about making your dreams and your passions come true, about revolutionizing the paradigm for the kind of cars that we want to drive today. It's not just about can you drive a clean, affordable, fast, and safe car. It's about you can drive all of those, all of them getting over 100 miles per gallon, which is energy equivalent. So let's take a look at a quick video that tells the story of this competition, of the teams and their innovation. Let's roll the video. The Model T got 25 miles per gallon, and we think 100 years later, we must do better. This is a race for our future. It is a race we must win.
Our current use of oil is unsustainable. It has become unbearably costly and environmentally devastating. Yet the automotive industry seems unable to present us with choices, with radical improvements in efficiency. It will take a spark to jumpstart a revolution.
The Automotive Xprize is a $10 million prize to teams that can produce production-capable, safe, clean vehicles that can exceed 100 miles per gallon or its energy equivalent.
Somewhere in the world, someone will have the solution. When you're looking for that needle in a haystack, the key is to inspire that needle to look for you. The announcement sparks an immediate and powerful worldwide response.
We're in. We got to do this. We're going to go for this in a big way.
Take no prisoners.
The goal is set, but the way there is wide open.
You can't do it with an ordinary car. You're going to have to rethink the car first.
To meet the challenge, some teams use gasoline, electricity, even compressed air, carbon fiber, ultralight steel and aluminum, even a car made from foam. Modified production cars and specialty vehicles designed from the ground up, built by well-funded companies, tiny startups, and even a one-man team, an engineer who didn't even own his own vehicle.
I can't afford one.
College students from Finland and Washington State, even a passionate team from West Philadelphia High School. In all, 111 teams from 11 nations enter this cutting-edge competition with a radical finish line. The $10 million purse was divided into 3 classes, a mainstream class that resembled more traditional auto designs, and 2 alternative classes. There was an exciting variety of designs. All vehicles in all categories would have to meet the basic requirements for safety and practicality, as judged by the Xprize team of automotive experts. Shakedown was the first inspection to separate the interesting projects from practical automobiles.
The shakedown event was very traumatic for us because we weren't ready. It's a heart attack every minute, I think, for probably every team.
My grandfather used to say, pressure bursts pipes, but pressure can also make diamonds. In some cases, it's burst our pipes. But
There's thousands of little things, from the littlest bolt that fails, and all of a sudden the door opens wide up. And you're like, how did that happen? This is embarrassing.
We've done everything with like 15 minutes to spare, and it's just not enough time.
Just put a clamp on the thing and hold it back.
Shakedown narrows the field and hones the teams for the competition to come. The next phase of elimination takes place on the track, requiring higher efficiency performance and a demonstration of avoidance maneuvers, acceleration, and braking.
It's automobile gymnastics. We have to do 60 to 0 braking, we have to do 0 to 60 acceleration, double lane change through the long course. There's efficiency runs for highway, city, urban. So it's automobile gymnastics.
I'm used to drive really fast cars and I'm well trained. With Audi, I've won 5 times the Le Mans 24 hours. But after a day of racing here, I found myself really exhausted. There's a lot of concentration involved.
For this round, every car has to deliver at least 67 mpge. This new unit of measure, defined by the Xprize and endorsed by Consumers Union, allows comparisons in efficiency regardless of the energy source. Each car's efficiency and performance telemetry is displayed real-time on the Automotive Xprize website, giving internet viewers a ringside seat. Meanwhile, educational programs supported by the U.S. Department of Energy, including classroom activity kits developed with the St. Louis Science Center, keep students a part of the action. As knockout continues, many teams find it harder and harder to meet the benchmarks.
Unfortunately, we have to eliminate you from the competition. You achieved 51.2.
Miles per gallon equivalent.
Yeah.
So is every team out?
Oh well, we had the range, we had the mileage, but in the 0 to 60, our transmission just didn't hold up. So, we're done. Give her all we got, Captain, and she couldn't take it any longer.
Of the original 136 vehicles entered in the competition, only 15 are still in the running. The finalists are an amazing group. Nearly every one of these vehicles delivers over 100 mpge.
121. All right. 164.3. 197.1.
Okay, I can live with that.
What many considered to be virtually impossible just a few short years ago has now proved to be very possible.
We couldn't ask for a better way to accelerate the vehicle development on the Aptera than to put it in this competition. We've done a year's worth of development in 3 months.
It is absolutely the reason that we are as far as we are.
We've now been third-party justified that all of our claims are true. That's going to help us with fundraising.
People didn't know who Zap was, and now they do, thanks to the Xprize. That's huge.
On the track, the competition continues. Technology is pushed to its limits, and when it fails, millions are at stake.
It over-revved, broke. It's the $2.5 million, 15,000 RPM moment.
In the alternative side-by-side category, a final race against the clock pits 5 cars in a race of speed and endurance, which proves too much for some.
Okay. It's all right. It's all right. Zap is officially done.
And the margin of victory is astonishingly small.
0.2 of a second.
Differential?
Down to 0.2 of a second.
Which way?
Damn!
Really tough.
You guys can push to the plan.
The mainstream category comes down to just one team left in contention, Edison 2's very light car. If they can make their benchmarks, they will win the $5 million purse. It is theirs to win or lose.
Way to go. Great job, guys. Good job out there.
But the competition isn't over. Everything hangs in the balance pending the results of validation in the lab. Only then can the winners be determined. But all of the Progressive Automotive Xprize teams are winners, and we will all benefit from their innovations. They have accelerated a future with vastly more efficient vehicles, and again demonstrated that to drive innovation, offer the right prize, and human nature will do the rest. The Xprize Foundation, making the impossible possible, one prize at a time.
It is through the support of public and private institutions that the Xprize Foundation is able to incentivize innovators and drive radical breakthroughs. I want to start by thanking Progressive Insurance, our title sponsor and truly our partner throughout this competition. Without Progressive, we would not be in the position to transform the paradigm of the future of transportation and the future of the cars that we will all be driving. Additionally, I want to thank BT Global Services, our foundation-wide sponsor since 2008. BT Global Services has been instrumental to our success over the last 2 years by providing funding to help the foundation create radical breakthroughs for the benefit of humanity by designing, launching, and operating our Xprizes. We're also pleased to welcome Cisco, our new presenting sponsor of our Energy and Environment Prize Group, which aims to incentivize a new era of clean, renewable, and affordable energy. The goal of our partnership with Cisco is to drive innovation and incentivize groundbreaking solutions to global energy and environmental challenges, such as climate change, energy distribution and storage, clean energy, and energy efficiency. By tapping into the human network, this partnership will be a force for positive change around the globe. We are excited to have the Department of Energy join us as our education and technical partner in this unique public-private endeavor. The over $9 million in Department of Energy funding has provided for technical expertise that ensures that each vehicle design is reviewed correctly and consistently. Additionally, the Department of Energy partnered with us to create a national education program that helps inspire youth and the general public about the alternative vehicle and fuel options of the near future, as well as encourage young people to pursue careers in energy-efficient sciences and technology. We want to thank the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, our host sponsor for our events in Michigan, and also a big thank you to Michigan International Speedway, our host facility for our competition events. And a very special thank you to Harry Winston, the official trophy provider of the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize, for designing and creating a unique piece of art worthy of celebrating the noble achievements of these teams. Thank you to all of the other sponsors as well who've helped make this competition a success. Throughout all of this, Progressive Insurance has been a constant ally. When we first came up with the idea for an Automotive Xprize, it was Dean Kamen, Xprize trustee, who introduced us to Glenn Renwick, the CEO of Progressive Insurance. Glenn, with his team, stepped up and have been excellent partners. I'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Glenn Renwick.
Thanks, Bob and Peter. This is quite an honor to be here today. This is just a great occasion. Today's the culmination of a lot of hard work from all of the competing teams. I commend them all on their efforts and their automotive achievements. And while today we're here to announce the winners, they're all winners in mine and Progressive's minds, so thank you again. During the competition, we've seen a lot of really powerful breakthroughs. Breakthroughs we hope will enter the mainstream of automotive engineering. That's what this competition is all about, advancing the science behind automotive technology to create revolutionary change. These advancements redefine what's possible and will ultimately create more consumer choices in super fuel-efficient vehicles, which we think will make people's lives better. Giving consumers choices that improve their lives, simply, that's why we got involved. And that's why we're so proud to be part of this competition. In a world where many companies are working to establish a strong brand with relevance to consumers, we've been delighted to associate the Progressive name with the Xprize Foundation and this initiative. We have a long and rich history of making things better in car insurance, and sponsoring the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize gave us the chance to make things better for consumers in a different way, in the form of spurring more choices of safe, fuel-efficient vehicles. On behalf of the more than 24,000 employees and our more than 30,000 local agents, I'd just like to say what a pleasure it has been to partner with the Xprize Foundation during the course of this competition and to get a front row seat and observe the advancements made by the teams along the way. I genuinely congratulate you all. Thank you.
You have to know that when we create an Xprize, we have a vision, but it's required that we really find a visionary CEO and partner. And you have to remember, going to someone and saying, trust us, this prize can be won, is quite a challenge. And so to really have Progressive stand up, and Glenn Renwick as the CEO stand up and say, I'm going to back this, is extraordinary. So Glenn, to you, your team, and all of Progressive throughout the United States, thank you. We would not be here without all of you. So back up even before then. In the earliest days of any venture, when you have this crazy idea for this 100 mpge car competition, will teams step forward? Can you create a metric? Will it happen at all? It doesn't move forward unless someone, some donor, some benefactor says, I'm going to support that. And we have had 6 such individuals who play an absolutely critical part of this. Earliest on, a good friend, a trustee of the Xprize, a tremendous entrepreneur, and someone who's been a visionary in the green automotive space, Jack Hittery. Jack, thank you. Next, someone who lent her personal passion and checkbook to supporting us, Nadine Weil. Nadine, thank you. Stepping forward, Elissa and Gil Elbaz. What an amazing couple. Both trustees and visionary circle members of the Xprize Foundation. Gil and Elissa came forward and to assure that this competition on the board level would be real. So thank you, Gil and Elissa. Next, Jeff Shames, whose contribution and dedication really brought forward this competition. And finally, I'd like to single out one man, a gentleman by the name of Ray Sidney. Ray is a Vision Circle member of the Xprize. In addition to the Department of Energy and Progressive, if there's anyone who made this possible, Ray Sidney, as our single largest personal contributor, stood behind this and literally made this happen. So to Ray Sidney, thank you so much. Now it is my honor to introduce our next guest. She is the 60th and current Speaker of the House of the Representatives, elected in the 110th Congress. Previously, she was the House Minority Leader from 2003 to 2007, representing the 8th Congressional District of California since 1987. During her tenure in office, she has been a dedicated advocate for the environment, passing energy and climate bills that will set America on a course to reduce dependence on fossil fuel and make critical investments to spur innovation and create clean energy jobs. She shares our mission to create radical breakthroughs for the benefit of humanity and to work to have a cleaner, safer future and leave a lasting legacy for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, please extend a warm welcome to the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you, Peter, for your wonderful and generous introduction, for your tremendous leadership as Chairman and CEO of the Xprize Foundation. We all recognize you as an entrepreneur and leader in the commercial space area. Peter lives up to his personal motto, the best way to predict the future is to create it yourself. As I was approaching this site just now, I noticed that on the building next to us here, there are 3 words carved in stone above it, and I kind of was interested in the priority. It said, science, history, poetry. And that science would be listed first was very interesting to me, and it reminded me that when President Obama became President of the United States, he elevated science to a higher place in our national priorities. I would say that if you want to use 4 words to describe the domestic agenda, it is science, 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 and science. Science to address our health needs, science to be innovative and #1 in the world, and that's what we're gathering about here today. Science to protect our country with the best innovation possible, and science to preserve God's beautiful creation, and in any event to pass it on to future generations more intact. We're here about the future. I always say that science is an answer to our prayers to those who want us to make a choice between faith and science. We don't have to do that, I don't think. But in any event, the accelerating the future is certainly advanced by our investments in science, and I want to salute President Obama for his recognition and his leadership and his vision on that score. I'm also pleased to be here with Robert Weiss, President and Vice Chair of the Xprize Foundation, and acknowledge his leadership as a TV and film producer, applying his creativity to innovation for the benefit of our environment and the future. Thank you. And to Glenn Renwick, President and CEO of Progressive Insurance. Thank you, Progressive Insurance, for being a primary sponsor of the $10 million Automotive Xprize. I think my colleague, Ed Markey. Ed Markey is chair of our Energy Independence and Global Warming Select Committee in the Congress. He has been a visionary for decades on the subject of the environment and reducing our dependence on foreign oil, leading the change in Congress to make key goals of the Xprize competition, breaking our crippling addiction to oil and stemming the devastating effects of climate change, the centerpiece of American leadership in the 21st century. Thank you, Ed Markey, for your remarkable and internationally and globally recognized leadership. I also see one of the newest members of Congress, but certainly effective from the start and certainly a leader and advocate for accelerating the future, Tom Piriello. Thank you, Tom, for your courage, for your inspiration to members of your freshman class to support climate change legislation. Throughout our history, our progress has been defined by the creativity of technological pioneers, by scientists and innovators willing to take risks, experiment and chart new paths forward for the benefit of others. Today, the Xprize builds on that tradition, tapping into the potential of human ingenuity, creating a better world through competition, promoting innovation, and pursuing the common good. In inspiring teams of entrepreneurs, students, and engineers to build the fuel-efficient cars of tomorrow, you are revolutionizing the automotive industry and establishing the building blocks of green jobs and a clean energy economy. As this year's theme states, you are truly accelerating the future. Earlier this year, I led a congressional delegation to the Detroit Auto Show to see an early phase of the Xprize entries. There, we viewed electric and hybrid cars and saw automakers striving to build the next generation of automobiles. We met with the leaders of an auto industry undergoing a transformation toward cleaner vehicles, sparked by stronger fuel efficiency standards and clean energy investments from the Recovery Act, which President Obama took the lead on. Leading the way were 10 Xprize contestants, showing the nation and the world designs like an ethanol-fueled car that's light, safe, and can travel up to 200 miles without stopping to refuel. A battery electric vehicle designed and built by university students in Finland. An electric car from my home state of California intended as a commuter vehicle. These are just some of the products of this year's finalists. They come from the US and they come from across the world. They are developing desirable, efficient cars that get more than 100 miles per gallon. My son Paul, who is here with me, tells me that that is par for the course and not to be overwhelmed by that prospect that would be considered the normal. These vehicles are the ultimate examples of a public-private partnership that works as Xprize teams combine the creativity of the private sector with the leadership of the public sector, including $3.5 million from the Department of Energy, and I'm so pleased that the Assistant Secretary is with us today, to engage students and the public in learning about advanced technologies and energy efficiency. $5.5 million from the Recovery Act for technical operations, expanded education, and outreach efforts, and a voucher program for teams to receive critical assistance in developing their projects. Every team deserves our congratulations, so let's congratulate all of them who have competed. Let's give them our congratulations. Okay, let's do it some more. As we give them our congratulations, let us also give them our gratitude for putting their ideas on the table, for entering this competition, and for demonstrating extraordinary ingenuity and innovation. Each team has worked to accelerate the future and to make the promise of clean technologies a reality for all of us. In pursuing your goal, to the competitors, you have upheld the true spirit of the Xprize, to never underestimate the power of a small group of passionate thinkers to solve our greatest challenges. Help preserve our planet, and in the words of the Xprize mission, bring about radical breakthroughs for the benefit of humanity. Thank you all very much for allowing me time to share some thoughts with you. Again, congratulations to all of the competitors, and our gratitude is with them. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Speaker Pelosi. Thank you. I now want to thank the hundreds of people who worked countless hours to make this prize happen. Specifically, I want to thank our Director of Team Development and Relations, Julie Zona, who worked tirelessly. I'm going to ask her to stand in just a moment. Julie Zona, who worked tirelessly with each of the 111 teams who took part in this Xprize. Now, Julie Zona, please stand up and take a bow. Julie. I'd like to thank Steve Wesolowski, the Director of Technical Operations, who ensured our technical events were credible and objective. Steve, our thanks. The Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize's Senior Director, Mr. Eric Cahill. Eric.
He's off to your left.
The Foundation's Vice President of Creative Services, Amy Day. Amy. And a very special thank you goes out to Kristen Lindsay, our Vice President of Prize Operations, who's been working on this competition from the very first day. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you all. In total, there are more people than we can thank individually, from the technical team and the creative services team to all of our vendors and partners who helped make this event a huge success. Our next speaker also shares the commitment to the goals of reducing our unsustainable use of oil and stemming the effects of global climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman of the House Select Committee on Energy Independence and Global Warming, Representative Edward Markey.
Thank you, Bob, so much. Thank you for your visionary leadership, to the leadership of Peter Diamandis, to the leadership of all of those who have participated in this incredible competition. Back in 1926, there was another prize. It was called the Orteig Prize, and it was a prize of $25,000 that would be given to the first team that could fly from New York City to Paris. There were 3 contestants who came down to the finals. Charles A. Lindbergh, Charles A. Levine, my wife's grandfather, and Admiral Richard Byrd. 3 planes, Roosevelt Airway, $25,000 Orteig Prize. Charles Lindbergh took off first and landed in Paris. It was a huge event. My wife's grandfather had lost, Charles A. Levine, but 2 weeks later, he landed in Berlin. He went an additional 600 miles just 2 weeks later. Charles Levine did not pass away until 1991, so I came to know him very well. I asked him, weren't you afraid? And he said to me, well, I wouldn't have gone if I was afraid. And remember, dozens of people had died in the preceding decade trying to win that prize. And so here we are, in an era where the United States has only 2% of the world's oil reserves, where we consume 25% of the world's oil on a daily basis, where we only have 4% of the world's population. This is non-sustainable. That is our weakness. Our strength is our technological genius. Our strength is our ability to invent. And that's what the Xprize is all about. It is the Orteig Prize of the 21st century. It deals with the greatest challenge that we have in our country and around the world, and that is that we have become OPEC's ATM machine. And we need a way that we invent our way out of this dilemma that the world has allowed itself to fall into. Every $1 increase in the price of oil provides an additional $1.5 billion to Iran each year. Our oil addiction is supporting rogue nuclear regimes. It is helping to funnel resources to terrorists. Our dependence on oil distorts our foreign policy, it skews our economic policy, it damages our environment. Importing oil is 50% of the trade deficit of the United States of America. Importing oil is 50% of the trade deficit. That's why this contest, this Xprize, is the most important thing that is happening in our country and in the world. We saw what happened this summer when we were out 50 miles and trying to drill down 5 miles deep to tap the 2% of the oil reserves which the United States has. We saw what happened when BP did not put in place the proper protections. We saw all that oil covering beaches, marshes, and wildlife. We saw all of the fishermen who were put out of work. And yet, 87 days worth of that oil going into the Gulf of Mexico was just 6 hours of oil consumption for the United States of America. We cannot drill our way to energy independence. We must innovate and build a path to a clean energy future. Whether it is the gusher of dollars sent to petro dictators or the oil gusher at the bottom of America's ocean, the time has come to end this destructive addiction to oil, and that time is now. The teams gathered today who competed for the Xprize represent an excellence in innovation, in technology, and science, and manufacturing that is going to be needed to invent our way out of this dilemma that the United States and the world has found itself in. For 6 years, I made an amendment on the House floor to increase fuel economy standards from 25 to 35 miles per gallon. 2001, 2003, 2005, I lost. And then Nancy Pelosi became the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. And in January of 2007, she said to me, Eddie, this year, your amendment is going to pass and become the law of the United States, and President Bush will sign that law in a way that will transform the relationship between our people and automotive technology. And in December of 2007, just 10 months later, President Bush signed that law. And to President Obama's credit, President Obama has now moved the deadline up from 2020 to 2016 to meet this goal of of 35 miles per gallon. The Xprize is central to this issue. The public policy is now changing. Speaker Pelosi went through all of the incentives which we are building into the law in order to accomplish that goal, but we need the inventors, we need the investors, we need the innovators to participate in this contest. If we do it right, we will in fact see this revolution telescope in its time frame in order to solve the problem. In Congress, we are working to advance oil-saving technology. Earlier this year, I introduced bipartisan legislation, the Electric Drive Vehicle Deployment Act of 2010, with Anna Eshoo and other members, including Republicans. The bill will demonstrate the viability of electric vehicles and accelerate their deployment around the country. And most importantly, it reorients our energy policy towards our strength, innovation, and technology. So congratulations to all of the winners here today. You are the Lindberghs, the Levines, the Admiral Byrds of today. You are the pioneers. You are proving that it can be done. What they accomplished in 1927, by the middle of the 1930s, resulted in international passenger aircraft. We are going to see the same thing happen in the automotive sector because of the pioneers who are here today. Congratulations to the Edison 2 team. Congratulations to everyone else who is part of this process. You are changing the world. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Chairman Markey. Now, to tell us more about how the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize has helped advance the Department of Energy's mission to ensure energy security, environmental quality, and economic vitality, please welcome the Deputy Secretary of Energy, Daniel Podeman.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thanks and congratulations to Peter Diamandis. We're having a good conversation about the excitement before us in space and in advanced technology. I had my introduction to public service as a summer intern for Senator John Glenn, and showing the great spirit of adventure and the ability to inspire innovation and to inspire the world, and to do so with a sense of valor and creativity is really the hallmark of the United States and our great history. It's an honor to follow Chairman Markey, Speaker Pelosi. What Speaker Pelosi said about science and the President's commitment about science and to science is absolutely true. We say at the Department of Energy that science and technology lie at the heart of our mission, and in that respect I'd like to acknowledge I see the President's Science Advisor, John Holdren, in the front row, and he's done outstanding work in leading this nation in the direction the President has directed in making sure that we have the commitment to science and to the excellence that brings to us. I'd also like to acknowledge Congressman Perriello for his leadership, and I know that Senator Mark Warner will be joining you later here today. The United States Department of Energy is proud to be a partner in this endeavor and to have lent our technical expertise to the Progressive Automotive Xprize competition. And I would like to join others in commending the whole Xprize team that is assembled today for their extraordinary achievement. Today, we are celebrating the power of innovation and ingenuity to achieve transformational breakthroughs. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was at Argonne National Laboratory, and I had the opportunity, we were not told who was going to win, but I actually had the opportunity to get on the test wheel and get in some of these vehicles. I had to use a shoehorn in a couple of instances, but it's truly exciting to see the work that they have done, and the national labs, I can tell you, are very excited to have the role that they have had in testing these vehicles and helping to provide the data that will provide the decision. I left so impressed by the creativity and ingenuity of what I saw, and extremely hopeful about our future. Throughout our history, science and technology have given us answers to some of our toughest challenges. Today, we are again turning to science and technology to help solve the energy challenge. Developing more fuel-efficient vehicles will go a long way to reducing our dependence on oil, to enhancing our energy security, and to curbing pollution. That is why the Department of Energy is supporting this effort and making significant investments to transform our transportation sector. Through the Recovery Act, and there again I must acknowledge the tremendous leadership of the President and the support of the U.S. Congress, we have been able, through our Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loan Program, to invest more than $12 billion in grants and loans to support several advanced vehicle technologies, including electrical vehicles, advanced biofuels, natural gas vehicles, and more advanced internal combustion engine cars. We are working to boost the nation's automobile manufacturing base to create jobs and to develop the cars, trucks, and batteries of the future here in America. Just this week, as many of you may have seen, Secretary Chu was in Michigan to attend the opening of the A123 Systems' new lithium-ion battery plant. Transforming the transportation sector is no small task. It requires innovative public and private partnerships just like this one. It also requires us to continue to harness the power of America's entrepreneurs. That is why the department has also partnered with the Xprize Foundation to launch a national education program to promote alternative vehicle and fuel options, as well as to encourage young people to pursue careers in science and technologies. This is so incredibly important. We've got to get them all across the chain to get them excited in the K through 12 realm, and it's happening. I know because in my own case, I read stories to my kids once in a while. They'll let me still, and we actually got an opportunity to talk about the Big Bang theory. I get stuck on questions like what happened before the Big Bang, but I'll ask John Holden, and perhaps he'll help me understand a bit better later on. A key component to this program was the Dash Plus competition. Through Dash Plus, high school teams from across the nation designed the dashboard of the future, one that provides feedback to help drivers maximize fuel efficiency and minimize environmental impact. The winning team from Dos Pueblos High School in Goleta, California is here today, and I'd like to recognize them now and to congratulate Jake Muktader, Kelvin Nerona, and Nikhil Shinde. So how about a round of applause for that group? Where are you? Can you stand up for a second? Thank you. That is our future. That's our future. Finally, I want to congratulate all the teams that participated in the Progressive Automotive Xprize competition. Your innovation is helping to build a stronger nation for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children. We put all our hopes in you, and many thanks to all. Congratulations to all the contestants, and all the best in all of your endeavors yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary. Since the start of this competition, the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize has advanced MPGE, our shorthand for miles per gallon energy equivalent, a new way to directly compare the efficiency of gasoline to electric and other energy sources. Consumer Reports is supportive of the use of MPGE as a measure to help consumers understand vehicle efficiency. In addition, Consumer Reports has served as our official active safety testing partner, working side by side with us to complete our on-track dynamic safety testing. We couldn't have done it without them. And now it's my pleasure to introduce David Champion, Senior Director, Consumer Reports, Automotive Test Division. David.
Thank you very much, Bob. It's wonderful to be here. And thank you very much to Xprize for really stimulating the thoughts and the creativity of the people in the teams. At Consumer Reports, we thought it was pretty much a natural fit for us. You know, we're always concerned about vehicle safety. We're very concerned about fuel economy. We're very concerned about the environment. So it was just a natural fit for all of us for us to come to Michigan International Speedway, that was a great host to us, and allow us to run a number of safety tests. In the shakedown, I'm not sure all the teams quite realized how stringent these tests were. We had cars coming up to the avoidance maneuver, which simulates a a child running out into the road, swerving around that child and back into the original lane. And a lot of the cars looked very unsteady. But it was amazing as the months went past how quickly they worked on those cars, how quickly they got to grips with all the aspects in terms of braking and acceleration to really make these cars a wonderful piece of machinery. The tests that we ran were basically based on exactly the same tests that Consumer Reports runs on every car that we test at our test track in Connecticut. It was a wonderful way to actually see the ingenuity, the passion, the real enthusiasm that these engineers and teams had to really push the envelope of what is possible in terms of miles per gallon. And the 100 miles per gallon gas equivalent is a great way for consumers to really understand where the energy is coming from and how it's used and what is their impact of driving a vehicle on the road today. When we look at these cars, you know, they're very, very different to the ones that we currently drive today. But looking at them, and thank you very much for the encore on the outside, they're not after me today. I'm usually the one that's in front of them, but never mind. But we look at these cars, and they really do show what is possible. Whether we will be driving exactly these things in the future, I'm sure to a lot of people a little bit of a stretch, but we really need to do something about fuel economy. We look at cars today, they're getting no better than they got maybe 15, 20 years ago. Yes, cars are a lot safer today than they were in the past. Airbags, electronic stability control, crumple zones, etc. So they're a lot safer, but in terms of overall fuel economy, we haven't really pushed the envelope that far. And really looking at what we have today in terms of the cars that we have here, some of the aspects of them I'm sure we're going to see in the future, in the near future. Where we go when my kids are my age, it'll be very interesting to know. Thank you very much to Xprize. Thank you very much to the teams. Thank you very much for the enthusiasm that they all had and the passion that they brought to really moving the target forward. What we need to do now, though, we need to sustain this momentum. We need to keep going to really improve fuel economy for everybody, not only in the United States, but around the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. We appreciate you and your organization's hard work to help make this Xprize a success. We begin now to honor our winning teams. We began with a field of 111 teams representing a total of 136 vehicles. From that field, we've narrowed the competition down to the 14 vehicles you see around you today. They've made it through 5 stages of rigorous testing to achieve 100 mpge and more. While 3 teams will leave today with their share of $10 million, every team here today is a winner because they have leveraged this prize to advance their research and development and ultimately accelerate the future of the automotive industry. And we will be recognizing 3 winning teams. $5 million will be awarded to our mainstream class winner, and the remaining $5 million will be split between 2 classes of alternative vehicles. While each of the classes had different requirements, every one of these teams had to prove that their vehicle was fuel efficient, that they could achieve at least 100 mpge fuel economy, emit less than 200 grams per mile of CO2, and meet EPA emissions requirements. Each team's car had to be production capable of manufacturing at least 10,000 units annually by the end of 2014. And their car had to be safe, meeting specific federal motor vehicle safety standards. And of course, it had to be affordable, offered at a price point consistent with comparable vehicles. In the alternative class, we will award 2 $2.5 million prizes. The alternative class relaxes some requirements such as range and passenger capacity to encourage even greater innovation. Alternative vehicles must carry 2 or more passengers allows any configuration of wheels, and have a range of 100 miles. The alternative class is split into two groups, one for tandem seating, that is one behind the other, and one for side-by-side seating. Our first award will go to the tandem seating alternative class. Assisting us in presenting this award, please welcome Urs Ziswiller, the Swiss ambassador to the United States. The winning tandem vehicle is incredibly efficient, safe, and performs very well. The winner features room for 2 inline passengers and weekend baggage. Its clever design also features 2 extra stabilizer wheels that automatically deploy at low speeds or during sharp turns. This vehicle is powered by an electric motor that will go from 0 to 60 in just 6.6 seconds and can be charged in just about an hour. With a total efficiency of, wow, 187.6 mpge. Please congratulate our alternative class tandem winner, Team Xtracer. Come on up.
Team Xtracer from Switzerland is represented by team co-leader Felix Wagner.
Don't forget your check.
Diamandis. Start again, I think. Mr. Chairman, Herr Botschafter, Mr. Diamandis, Mr. Renwick, Mr. Weiss, of course, Xprize VIPs, staff, teams, medias, friends, very honored to be here. We have always claimed that we are building the world's most efficient street vehicle with serious performance. When I first heard about the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize, I immediately downloaded the draft guidelines then. When I read them, I couldn't believe my eyes. Specifications for the automotive class seemed to exactly describe our vehicles. Except that our machines were about twice efficient and the regulations requirement were too low for us, actually. Our top speed was about 160 miles per hour more instead of the then required 180 miles. We accelerated from 0 to 60 in some 5 seconds instead of the maximum allowable 12 seconds. Our maximum range was 200 miles instead of the 100 miles. And finally, our mileage, as we have seen, is almost 200 miles per gallon equivalent instead of the minimum required 100 miles per gallon equivalent. After having signed the letter of intent to participate in this competition, I read somewhere in an insider internet forum that nobody could compete against the modified Ecomobile. And of course, the Ecomobile was the original base vehicle of our 2 Xtracer competition vehicles. But what was obvious to us, and maybe those insiders in these internet forums, wasn't quite clear to many people around the globe. The Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize offered us a level playing field to prove that our claims were not just claims, but verifiable hard facts. We were going to be judged only by what we delivered, and not only by what have been seen on the street for the past century. And we are very thankful, grateful that we were given this opportunity to demonstrate the huge advantages of our vehicle concept. Our claims are no longer merely claims, they're now official statements. And looking forward and not backward is our way, just as it is the spirit of the Xprize. As your President Kennedy said 50 years ago when he announced that the USA would put the man on the moon within 10 years, we too choose to do it, not because it was easy, but because it was hard. One thing that made the competition easier, though, and that's one of the things that surprised us most, was that neither we nor our fellow competitors spoke about the prize money or talked about how much was at stake. Everyone was there because she or he had passion and dedication. They were on a mission and they accepted the challenge. Somebody asked you about your technology, you can instantly feel it was because these people were still all eager to learn, even if they already knew how to build a really good car themselves. If you needed a part, a tool, a hand, you got offers of help from all over. Spirit in the pits and the garage was just invaluable. So, thank you. Thank you very much, your friends and the rivals. Thanks also to the competition officials. Also, of course, sometimes tough and hard. They had to be, of course. That was their job. They always remained human beings. And you could always talk to them. They were always open for reasonable arguments, and they too tried to help you where they could. Thank you. And then, of course, we should not forget all those who supported us when we needed them, friends, supporters, enthusiasts, sponsors, colleagues, and finally, of course, our families, like my beloved wife, Karen, my daughter, Eileen, who suffered most when we spent long hours in the workshop or stayed abroad for weeks. Thank you, too. Thank you all. So, let me come to the end. If the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize goal really was to inspire a new generation of super efficient vehicles that helps break the addiction to oil and stem the effects of climate change, then the competition could have been designed for us at Paravis, as I said at the beginning. We have been selling these cabin motorcycles for over 20 years now, and from next year on, you will be able to buy the exact copy of the Xtracer that won the Automotive Xprize. With 150 square feet of solar panels on your roof, you will be able to drive 10,000 miles a year for free. And with the same vehicle, you could go to Bonneville and break the world land speed record for electric motorcycles. It's a real thing, and it's here, right now. But at Paravis, we will always be the manufacturer of a high-end, high-performance machine. Making a machine that does 200 miles per hour with a 200 miles per gallon equivalent and a 200 miles range is what we are best at. This is our mission. What we cannot do is mass produce our vehicle. We are just too small a company. But in the true spirit of the Xprize, I hope we can inspire the automotive industry, the governments and people around the globe to produce and accept this new generation of super efficient vehicle for the mass market. As I said, the real thing is here. We are here. We know a lot and we're willing to share the knowledge. So please come talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felix. Thank you, Team Xtracer. And now, to offer his congratulations, Urs Ziswiller, the Swiss ambassador to the United States.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Congratulations again. The wonderful team of a small country in the heart of Europe. And what comes into your mind when you hear the word Switzerland? Probably cheese, chocolate, mountains, eventually watches, and those days, not very popular. That's why I don't mention it, banks. That we are much more than that. If proof was needed, here you have the proof. Those cliches, of course, are for insiders, long-time things of the past. If you look at it that Switzerland, for the second year in a row, is ranking #1 as the most competitive economy in the world. That was by the World Economic Forum based in Switzerland, so maybe you think, well, that was arranged. But also the EU, where Switzerland is not a member, put Switzerland #1 as the most innovative country in the world, and a Yale-Columbia group of professors put Switzerland #1 as the most greenhouse gas efficient economy. So we are obviously extremely proud to have also a living proof that all those rankings are not just rankings, but they are actual reality. I also would like to remind you that we are excellent partners of the United States. Switzerland, small country, 7.5 million inhabitants, is the 5th biggest direct investor in the US. 500 Swiss companies are generating 500,000 jobs in this country, and not Walmart jobs, but upper scale jobs. We are very proud of that, and of course the US is the single most important investor in Switzerland. We are also famous to be a bit slow. They prove the contrary to what Albert Einstein once said. In case of a nuclear war, he would go to Switzerland because there things are happening 10 years later. The proof is it goes 10 years faster. Thank you again, and congratulations to all you guys.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Ziswiller. Our next alternative class award goes to a vehicle with a side-by-side configuration. In this class, we had so many exceptional teams that we had to hold a tiebreaker event with the final 5 vehicles. All of these groundbreaking, innovative vehicles met the minimum requirements of the prize. And we'd like to acknowledge our 4 final contenders as they stand in the audience. In ascending order, Aptera, Team Zap, Team TW4XP, thank you. And we want to recognize the vehicle that placed just 0.179 seconds behind our winner. The vehicle was designed from scratch to be a pure battery-powered electric vehicle, featuring efficient and simple direct electric all-wheel drive and the most advanced battery technology available. The vehicle features state-of-the-art direct drive individual wheel motors and an electric powertrain combined with distinct and elegant body chassis design, and uses advanced lightweight carbon composite materials. The team had truly amazing focus, drive, and capabilities, and we would like to congratulate Sami Ruotsalainen and Raceabout Association. Congratulations. To help us with the presentation of this award, please join me in welcoming Dr. John Holdren, Science and Technology Advisor to President Barack Obama and Director, White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. The winning vehicle is a battery electric car built on a lightweight aluminum and steel chassis and weighs in at only 2,176 pounds, despite the weight of its powerful lithium-ion batteries. It will charge in 4 hours. It uses regenerative braking to put energy back into the cells and extend the range. This vehicle has a range of over 200 miles and will easily cruise the freeway at 70 miles per hour. The vehicle has side-by-side seating for 2, plus enough space for a suitcase and a couple of sets of golf clubs. With a total efficiency of 187 mpge, please congratulate our winner, Lion Motors.
Team Lion from Mooresville, North Carolina is represented by Salim Rana Jr. and team leader Ron Servin.
Thank you very much. It's indeed an honor. Lion Motors is pleased that there was such an event that would give a demonstration of the technology that our company's been working on for over 7 years. More than the award itself is the chance to set our place in the history books as helping to pioneer the evolution of the automobile. For this opportunity, we have to thank Progressive Insurance, Cisco, the complete Xprize staff, and the people that believed in the Xprize in the beginning, our own investors, leaders, and supporters as well, the entire staff and families at Lion. Obviously, they went without us for quite some time, and you know, we'll try to pay it back someday. Team Lion took on this challenge with the intention of demonstrating our company is capable of achieving and getting to the next level in the automotive industry. Our team worked endless hours to ensure that they were right at the starting line when this thing was ready to take off. I would again like to thank the team, everybody here and everybody back at the facilities. To give an example of some of the dedication, there was very many 24-hour shifts put in by all the different departments at Lion Motors, right up until the time that that Wave 2 was pushed into the truck headed for Detroit. So it's, Lion would also like to thank the competing teams from start to finish. We were all a family with one common goal, the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize. We received help from many teams, and we all know who they are and can't thank them enough. More than one of you. And thanks to you, you're all considered part of our winning team as well. This competition has elevated the Wave 2 to a much higher level than what we first had entered. We were able to dig deeper and obtain far better performance than when we had initially, and now the Wave 2 is an exceptional vehicle. This due to in part the standards set by the Progressive Xprize. Since 2003, Lion Motors has worked diligently to develop our patented state-of-the-art BMS system, or battery management system, and has done so without any financial assistance from government funding, corporate sponsorships, or joint ventures. During the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize knockout stage, Lion's Wave 2 achieved an impressive result at 191 miles per gallon equivalent on the highway. To me, that's a pretty astounding number. Lion Motors Corp continues to improve our vehicle's performance with enhancements to our proprietary systems such as the battery management system, the battery heating systems, and we're looking to increase our overall performance in the near future of an additional 10 to 20%. As with our consistent progression of the past efforts, the company's goal is to always maintain advanced in this industry, now and in the future. With recent environmental catastrophes, including the BP oil spill, Lion Motors immediately intends to not only manufacture our products here in the United States, but also to license our technology for vehicle manufacturers across the world. The United States will lead the world in accelerating the ecology benefits by sharing this technology. The licensing manufacturers globally will result in an improved carbon footprints worldwide and much faster pace. Automotive manufacturers, the giants like Nissan's and General Motors have spent tens of millions of dollars in achieving the technology that sits in front of you today. By us being able to supply some of the other manufacturers, we hope to improve this industry and bring it faster and more available to the public at a more affordable cost. For other manufacturers, we open any discussions, and we really look forward to spending time with them, being able to show them what we're capable of doing. There's a possibility, as soon as that licensing is done, you'll be driving your electric vehicle within 4 months. So finally, on the behalf of everyone at Lion Motors, we'd like to thank Salim Rana for his ongoing support and helping us be here today. He truly is a man with a vision, I would like to introduce to you his son, Salim Rana Jr., to share a few words.
Thank you, Ron. My dad founded this company in 2000 and continues to assist Lion Motors in its development. I would like you to know that he truly believes in the capability of the Lion Motors team, and I know for a fact that at times he has mortgaged his personal assets to ensure the company's success. My dad always sees things through to the end, and I'm glad he bet on you. I'd like to thank Team Lion for winning, and I am truly honored to be a part of this. And to the Xprize Foundation, we're all truly thankful for this validation. Lion Motors is and will continue to be humble as we accept this award. We will do whatever it takes to use this technology to improve the environment for this generation as well as for future generations. I remember at the final race day, my dad asked all of us to pray, so we would also like to thank God. Thank you again.
Thank you, Salim. And now Dr. Holdren would like to extend his congratulations.
Thank you very much, Bob. It is a great pleasure to be here on the occasion of the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize. As it happens, I was just in a conversation with President Obama a little under an hour ago about inspiration, preparation, and innovation, and the role that they play in our economy. One could hardly ask for a better example of the combination of innovation, preparation, inspiration than these Xprizes and what they have inspired, what they have brought forth. On behalf of President Obama and my colleagues in the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, I offer my most enthusiastic congratulations to Ron Servin and the rest of the Lion team for your spectacular achievement. And by that, I don't just mean your ability to find a parking place in Washington, D.C. Wave 2 is impressive, I think, in every way. And that includes its embodiment of an important principle, which is that doing the right thing in the world of engineering can also result in objects of great beauty. And I have to say, that is a sweet-looking machine that you people produce. But most important, I think, to my office and certainly to the President, it's wonderful to see U.S. innovators at the cutting edge of the global race to produce advanced vehicle technologies. As the President has said repeatedly, it's a national priority to support the auto industry of the future, not only because it will strengthen America's energy independence and because it will create jobs, but it will also strengthen our manufacturing base, it will improve the quality of the air we breathe, and it will offer consumers greater safety, performance, and choice. The President knows that the challenges we face today, challenges relating to energy, the environment, agriculture, national security, and more, are simply too big for government or the usual private sector problem solvers to solve alone. We need, as the President has said, all hands on deck. That is why it is so inspiring to see that the teams honored here today are entrepreneurs outside the circle of usual suspects in the auto industry. One telltale sign of that is that the Lion Motors team is from North Carolina, which no one can really think of as a suburb of Detroit. And it's because we know that there are countless other Americans like them across the country whose ingenuity might otherwise be overlooked, that the Obama administration's strategy for American innovation specifically calls on federal agencies to use prizes to tap our nation's top talent and best ideas wherever they may lie. The response to that has been tremendous. Citizen solvers across the country have submitted breakthrough innovations in a wide range of challenges, from helping the First Lady in her work to end childhood obesity, to aiding NASA in developing a means for astronauts to do laundry in space. Just last week, the White House launched challenge.gov, a one-stop shop where entrepreneurs and innovators can follow in the footsteps of Lion Motors, or their tire tracks perhaps, and compete for prestige and prizes by providing novel solutions to tough national problems, large and small. We hope that the successful public-private partnership between Progressive Insurance, the Xprize Foundation, and the Department of Energy will be just one of many to help fulfill the President's ambitious innovation agenda in the months and years to come. Again, congratulations to you, and my thanks to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Holdren. Thank you, Dr. Holdren, and thank you, Team Lion. Congratulations, fellas. Thanks. Thank you. The $5 million mainstream class is for vehicles that are comparable to a typical small car. Twice as difficult as the alternative class, the mainstream vehicles needed to go twice as far, 200 miles, carrying twice as many passengers for a total of 4. To help us award this class, please welcome Senator Mark Warner from Virginia. Thank you. The winning vehicle in this category is truly a forward-looking aerodynamic vehicle that boasts the lowest drag coefficient of any four-wheeled vehicle ever tested in the GM wind tunnel or at the Chrysler Proving Grounds. This very light car has a total weight of only 830 pounds. Early on in the competition, there was speculation that the only way to achieve 100 mpge would be with an electric engine. But the winner in this category has proven itself highly efficient and safe while using an internal combustion engine that runs on E85 ethanol. With a total efficiency of 102.5 mpge, please join me in congratulating Team Edison 2.
Team Edison 2 from Lynchburg, Virginia is represented by team leader Oliver Kudner.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bob. Let me first of all apologize to Oliver and his team for leapfrogging ahead. I've got this day job right now in the Senate, and we are finally, today, about 9 months after the fact, passing a small business lending provisions to help get additional capital out to the kind of entrepreneurs that we're celebrating today. And I'm the final vote to get to 60, so I got to get back in a couple of moments. Let me, first of all, congratulate Oliver and all of his team. This is extraordinarily cool. John Holdren said that North Carolina is not necessarily viewed as a suburb of Detroit, but let me tell you, Lynchburg and Charlottesville, Virginia are hubs of innovation for today, tomorrow, and for the future. And congratulations to this great team. Let me also add my congratulations as well to the whole Xprize Foundation team, to Progressive, and to all the folks who've made this awards possible, and to all of the teams who are successful today, and those who are not successful as well. What we see today is the best of American innovation. And if we're going to be honest with ourselves, we've got to recognize that for the last decade in this country, there's plenty to blame to go around on both political parties and everybody. But for the last decade in this country, we have not had the kind of innovation and growth in our country that we need or should expect. You've got the outliers like Google and Facebook and what have you, but we are not innovating at the rate that we innovated in the late 80s and through virtually all of the 90s. We basically had an economy that was sustained by an overheated real estate market, and the only innovation that took place for the most part took place in creating financial instruments that were supposed to be about lowering the price of risk and created a financial house of cards. We need a few less financial engineers and a few more real engineers like the guys behind us here to make sure that America once again leads in innovation and growth. And this team, Oliver and his team, I was down in Lynchburg a few weeks back to see the renovation and the kind of inspirational spirit taking place in an old renovated 19th century warehouse that's been turned into an innovation hub in Lynchburg, Virginia. This team, and Oliver will speak to this in a moment, is already thinking big, not just about this tremendous prize today, but also about how we can take this model, bring it to commercial application, and have America once again lead in mobility in a way that is energy sustainable and thoughtful and forward-thinking. So my congratulations to Oliver and his team. My congratulations again to all the teams. This is the voice of America's next generation. These are the next great innovators that will lead our country forward. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Senator Warner. And now, team leader of Edison 2, Oliver Kudner.
Thank you, everybody. Engineering is all we're about. I'm going to deviate from the script for 1 second. We're in Lynchburg because Lynchburg was the shoe capital and textile capital, or one of the textile towns of the United States. It had an economy that somewhat crashed, but was somewhat saved by being one of the main towns of the nuclear industry. The result of this is that Lynchburg has the infrastructure of good machine shops, suppliers of difficult to get materials, and people who know how to use the tools. If you want to innovate and you have an idea, you must be able to go to someone to realize the idea. Lynchburg was a town where I could go a half a mile up the street, talk to someone who knew what he was talking about, and get it done. As a nation, we face the risk of losing some of those people that can realize the idea. It is imperative that we change the course of this nation and concentrate on real engineering. I will say one other thing in response to Mrs. Pelosi's remark. You cannot make a baby in a month. That's just a fact. The Xprize compressed time, and what we did was right at the edge of what is possible, which I will explain. The world needs to accept the fact that we need to get over partisanism. The world needs to push for innovation. We have never received a dollar from the federal government, but we have received tremendous inspiration by the fact that we now have a government and people on both parties who see science as the most important thing. The fact that our economy somewhat crashed, and the fact that the DOE started to get to be seen as a major priority had a lot to do with us being able to raise money. While I am a real estate developer in 2010, my assets are essentially frozen. This was very important. The fact that Congressman Perriello visited us many times and has been a voice of inspiration has had a lot to do with our success. There is an electricity in the country. Now I will go to what I was planning to say. But this electricity in the country, regardless what happens in elections, must continue because we are almost at a wartime with the future of our society if we do not start to concentrate on what actually matters. Now I go to my prompting. Facts are stubborn things. We because of a $10 million prize, that is what got my attention. And we left the area in which I am normally comfortable. We have never done an efficiency prize. And I must give credit to Xprize. By putting this prize out there, quite frankly, I'm not proud of it, but I was after the money. And because I know a lot of people in racing, I recruited some of the best people. Well, the Xprize is a great idea. It's an idea whose time has come. And I was able to create a team that is really tremendous. Good people attracted other good people who attracted other good people. You see some of the people on the team behind me. There were over 100 people who worked on this car. The goodwill created by Xprize is tremendous. And we were taken from a different industry. This prize catalyzed me into becoming the glue to pull together people from different industries and break into an industry that normally can't be broken into and come up with a solution. Talented people is what everything is about. And that's what we did. I am extremely proud of my team. And if you go to our website, you will see it's a tremendous team. Well, maybe I don't use the prompter because it's not where it's supposed to be. At Edison 2, we named the company Edison 2 because, like everybody else, we hadn't dealt with efficiency. We believed that an electric solution was the path to efficiency. But once we started to really analyze the numbers and the reality and the fact that we believed that there was only one prize initially, and there's a high risk when you start to mobilize a lot of people and spend a lot of money, we really decided that we must create something that would have real value even if we came in second or third place. A wet handshake, a congratulatory note, and no check. So we actually added hurdles to what we were told to set out to do. One of the hurdles was, for you to be successful, you must deliver at a price. So we pulled ourselves together and decided that our chassis had to be steel, because steel is a known science and it can be produced cheaply. We pulled ourselves together and thought hard about what would be the most meaningful solution. We got 102 miles per gallon, or 103. It shows you how on the edge we are. We got 129 miles per gallon on the highway, but we got it burning gasoline. Everybody knows what a mile per gallon in gasoline means. The real answer here is that we derive efficiency from the platform. We at the Xprize showed very clearly, 2 years after we thought this, realized very early that you cannot create a leap in efficiency adding a few parts or tweaking an existing car. And before you see complete departures from the normal. These departures from the normal are both the obstacle and the opportunity. Our car is a departure from the normal taken further because knowing that we wanted to burn gasoline, we also knew that the numbers we had to deliver had to be even better. We propose a rescaling of the automobile. We propose a lightweighting in unprecedented fashion. Because we come from racing, because we take pride in the fact that we do not design and build things that injure drivers, we are aware of, and were aware of from the very beginning, the fact that we had to keep the drivers safe. And we came up with a completely different approach. We have safety solutions in the car that depart from the ordinary, that have a great promise. And our car is a fuel source agnostic car. It takes almost no energy to push it. 3.5 horsepower is what is required to go 50 miles per hour. This means that our car can be powered by electricity or by gasoline. It can be the enabling technology that makes an electric car a reality, a successful reality. It can be the technology that creates lower-priced electric cars by reducing the battery requirement. You can go the same distance with this car with a half-sized battery from another efficient car. Half size means half price, means half weight. Now, this creates feedback loops, and feedback loops is what our project has been all about, positive feedback loops. The journey has been one that has completely departed from where we thought we were going to end up. We really thought we had a lot of knowledge, and we learned what we didn't know. And today, there are times when we watch people and when we read headline stories, and we realize that there are people who don't know, who are going to spend billions of dollars, who may call us in tears. But we don't take pleasure from it, but it's a fact, and facts are facts. The opportunity we have is tremendous, and to push this forward and realize its full potential is going to require a public-private partnership. Initially, we need to figure out and solve the riddle of keeping people safe with a low-mass car. We think we are on a path to doing that. We believe that the only way to create a car that has an impact is to create a car that can be sold at a low price. That's how many people can buy it. That's how you can reduce pollution. By the way, the gasoline-powered Edison 2 car had by far the lowest greenhouse gas emissions of any car in the Xprize, including electrics. To us, this is the starting line and not the finish. I'm not good at thank you speeches. I'm sorry that I got a little confused. But I really thank the Xprize Foundation from the heart. I think it is a very special time. I can tell you for certain that there's one key decision maker in the industry sitting in the audience. I appreciate his showing up. The fact of the matter is this is a special time. It's a time for change. What we are proposing in detail is a complete departure from the automobile. The reason our car is light is because there are things in it that you've never seen before, including a suspension system this big. It's a suspension system that can take 400 pounds out of any car. What we have to overcome is this attitude, which at times sits in large corporations. But the fact that this individual is here tells me very, very clearly there will be some who will not have that attitude. For that matter, we have met a whole number of them. It will be a minority initially, and then it will take the industry by storm. It all began with the Xprize. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Oliver, and thank you, Team Edison, too. We wanted to take a moment to tell you that all the drama and excitement of the Progressive Insurance Automotive Xprize will be captured in a one-hour television special entitled Xprize Cars, Accelerating the Future, that airs tonight at 9 p.m. on the National Geographic Channel. Be sure to tune in. And now I'm going to invite Peter Diamandis back to the podium to make some closing remarks. After Peter concludes, I want to encourage you all to walk around, to look at the vehicles up close, and to personally meet the teams. Peter, welcome back.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, so for some this is the end, but for these teams this is just the beginning. The automotive industry has been a 100-year-old industry, and what we need today is the Googles, the Apples, the Dells, the Ciscos, and these are what you're out to get and make happen. You know, after the Ansari Xprize was won, Richard Branson came in and invested $250 million to get Spaceship One off the floor. Space Adventures backed John Carmack, and I very much expect that a lot of these teams here will be getting their share of investments. This is just the beginning for incentive prizes, guys, and as we have started to look beyond this, the Xprize this past spring had our Board of Trustees meeting. We looked at 80 different Xprizes and X challenges in areas about energy, food, water, reinventing how we transport people, how we reinvent education. For us, this is just the start. We're extraordinarily proud to be working with governments around the world here in the United States with the White House and OSTP. And I'd like to make an announcement here that we've just found out that our high school team, West Philadelphia, has been invited this afternoon to go to the White House to meet the President, to be recognized for their work. So whether you're a corporation or a philanthropy, how cool is it to really drive innovation in science and engineering by getting teams around the world to spend 10 to 100 times the amount of money you put up in the prize to solve your problem? And better yet, rather than just back a single solution, you back a new generation, a new industry. This is just the beginning. Thank you all. Please watch us as we unveil our Xprize's next challenges. Come see these cars. Thank you for joining us. Have an amazing day.